Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today, where we're going to be talking about gamification in education. My name is Conchi, and I'm part of the Genially team in the US. And this webinar is going to have a format that is a bit different from other webinars that we have done. So instead of doing a hands-on demonstration, we're going to have a round table. So we're going to have a couple of guests that know a lot about gamification, and they're going to share about their experience using games in the classroom and beyond. So I'm going to introduce our guest. First, I'm going to introduce Hilary Ruiz. Hilary she's been teaching for 34 years, primarily third grade and second grade. And right now she's a content creator on Teachers Pay Teachers. She has a super popular store on Teachers Pay Teachers, and also her own website called Rocking Teaching Materials. So welcome, Hilary.
Hi, how are you? I'm excited to be here today.
We're super excited too. And as you can see, Hilary is not alone. Next to her is Sabrina Wingren, and they're sisters. So we're going to see some really good chemistry, I think, in this session today. To introduce Sabrina, I want to say that she is a visual art teacher. She graduated from the Art Institute of Chicago, and she started off her career on advertisement and the marketing side of things. But then she moved to education, and right now she's a full-time content creator on Teachers Pay Teachers, where she runs another super popular store and a super popular website called A Space to Create Art. Welcome, Sabrina.
Thank you.
Super excited to have you both here, and I'm going to get started with the questions. I'm going to start with the very basics. And my first question to you, it could be from your perspective, how would you define gamification?
I feel like gamification is just a fun and engaging way for kids to learn, and they actually don't really know that they're learning. So it's so interactive and fun that they think they're just playing, but in actuality, they're actually learning skills. And if you can make something fun and computerized, kids seem to be into it.
That's
I agree. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was gonna say that I completely agree with that. We see gamification in the classroom, and we see gamification in other areas as well, like home environment, homeschooling, corporate e-learning. So gamification brings that engagement to the whole spectrum of education, really. So what can gamification bring to the classroom specifically?
I think students learn best when you meet them where they are. And so students love to play games. For me as an art teacher, art history can be especially challenging. And I worked in a very large Title I school with kids who were at risk. And so bringing some kind of game into it, whether it was an escape room or like the quiz that you're going to see, really enabled them to learn. And I think that it also just brought a really great classroom culture because they worked together on a lot of the stuff and they got to know each other, and it just made them feel like when they walked in the classroom, they were home. So.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. And at a time when practice has become so necessary in education, like we learn by doing, what benefits does gamification offer, would you say?
Well, because using games, especially digital games, there's really no risk for trying. So because the kids, if they don't get the right answer, then they can go back and they can try again. If you can go back and try again, you're more willing to kind of take a risk and not have to always be right. You're not afraid to just kind of put yourself out there. And so I think that that's like an exciting way to kind of build some confidence and have a growth mindset as opposed to a fixed mindset where, I'm afraid I'm going to fail.
I love the growth mindset part. Is true. When we're playing, we're not so worried about making mistakes, right? And we're more likely to try again and keep trying. So that's really good, Hilary. Why is so important to gamify learning?
I just think that games are engaging. And so engaging your students is like, I would say 90% of the classroom experience, and everybody loves to play games. So that's the main reason why it's important to learning. And, you know, when in our classrooms, a lot of times we get stuck in a rut, we do the same thing every day. Doing something outside the box and doing something new, just it perks up the kids. They get excited and they really, really want to do it. So I think it's super important in the classroom.
That's fantastic. And now we're going to move to some questions that deal more with the creation aspect of gamification. So what kind of gaming formats work best with the students, or, you know, what, from the materials that you sell on Teachers Pay Teachers, what do you see that works best, you know, in terms of games?
Well, I feel like having something like Genially has been a game changer, because it makes it so easy to make things digitally. When I was trying to make games digitally, especially with everything with COVID-19, people were trying to come up with ways to make things digital because they weren't able to print copies and make them. And so I was trying to make games on Google, but then we started running into a lot of permissions and things from school systems and filter issues. And so finding Genially was just huge game changer. And but having it digital and not having to be printed out is like the reason why that it works. Not having, I actually used games in my classroom, but I spent hours and hours cutting and gluing and laminating and all that kind of stuff to be able to have like a breakout game that I wanted to do. But this way, it's just, it takes time to create it, but after it's created, it's just seamless. Everything just goes.
That's great to hear that Genially is making things easier on the gamification aspect of things. What advice would you give to someone who needs to create a game or a gamification experience for the students? Somebody that is getting started now, like, what would you say?
As a teacher, I would say go ahead and start out with some of the templates that Genially has to offer, because they're excellent. And it allows you to kind of practice using some of the tools and not have to recreate the wheel. Sabrina and I both recreate the wheel lots of times.
Too much.
We make it all the time. We change things a lot, but that isn't necessary because you guys have so many cool templates. So you just, search the gamification resources. And another reason too is that it gives you ideas. So that's how we kind of got started with making our own. We took ideas that you guys had, and then we put them into what we needed. And
it takes a little bit to get used to. So you have to stay persistent, just like you tell your students to stay persistent. And, you can't expect to just get on there and make it in one day, like, oh, I did it. You have to actually just kind of, they have, Genially has a lot of YouTubes and ways to learn how to use their different resources. And it takes a little bit to get up and running, but once you do, it's easy and you can make more and more stuff. So.
That's great. And it's true that we always recommend people like start with a template or start with a simple game, and then you can move on, and keep growing with Genially, because it does give you all the, from beginners to advanced level type of gamification possibilities, right? So,
right. And also new templates are constantly being put on. So I'm always excited when I see something new and
that's correct. Our design team will be happy to hear that. We have a big design team, very talented, and they're always adding fresh new templates. So you always have something new going on. So that's fun. That's a fun part too. So in terms of the tools that you use for gamification on your day-to-day, what would you say is there a tool that is favorite for students or that they prefer when it comes to gamification?
a tool that they use is, you mean like the computer? Sorry, I don't know if we answered.
Yeah, I mean, is there any sort of games or, yeah, it can be computer, any sort of games that they prefer, you know, in the classroom?
I think anything that's interactive, they really enjoy. Like the animation that Genially provides is great because when something moves, that's fun and exciting for them. I just wanted to share a quick story because my sister retired and she still has really good friends in the classroom. So she shared an escape room with one of her teacher friends. I think it was third grade. Was it third grade? Fourth grade. And so they were having all kinds of, she was having a filter issue, not with the Genially part, but it was like one of the Google Forms or something. But regardless, like when the teacher actually figured it out, the kids started cheering. They were so excited that they got to play the game because it was an alien like fractions game. Can you imagine? Like kids getting excited to do fractions? That's crazy.
That's pretty amazing.
It's amazing.
And Sabrina played the game for me and she wasn't as excited as they were.
No, I didn't get any of them right, but that's good because then we make sure everything's working properly.
Oh, that's so funny.
I'm terrible at math.
So now let's say you have created your game, you have your fractions game or whatever game you have created. Do you have any tips for teachers before, you know, throwing the game out of the kids? Like any tips for teachers?
Always play the game yourself first and have somebody else play it before you give it to your kids. If you don't, then you're going to be scrambling around, which I've done many times in my teaching career, to try to figure out what's going wrong. Another thing is try it on a student computer because a lot of times things will work on your computer and not on a student computer. So you have to maybe figure out a workaround or something different, which we've had to kind of learn the hard way. And the main thing, my example is the Google things, because schools are saying that if it doesn't come from their school system, then they're not able to get it. So it's a simple fix. You may just need to send a form through your own school system or something like that. But you need to know that before you get started on a game, because we use like a Google form for our like escape games, because we have escape games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the locks page. I put all their answers in.
Mm-hmm. Great. So do you think gamification is a trend that will stay with us? Genially, we see teachers using gamification more and more. We see, you know, the templates that they use within the tool, a lot of game templates. But do you think it's a trend that will stay with us for a long time?
Yes, I do. I actually think it's growing. And I think that as bad as everything was last year with COVID, I'm trying not to get emotional, but the one positive is that it forced our schools to update their technology. And so every student now has a Chromebook. And I don't think that would have happened if it weren't for COVID. So it's because of that very reason, digital technology is going to stay in the classroom. Teachers were forced to use it, so now they know how to use it and they love it. So I think it's only going to grow.
Fantastic. And I hope so, you know, because it brings so many benefits to the classroom that I hope it will continue to grow. And yes. Now, in terms of evaluation, you know, what advantages that gamification offer when evaluating students?
Well, the thing is that after the kids, you know, finish their game, play the game, and the cool thing is like, and I'll show in a minute, is that you can input lots of information. You can put things like, you know, typed out article type information, and you can put videos and all kinds of things along with your game portion. So it's all that information that they're going to be learning. And then, you know, you could create a Google form, or you could have the Google form be a part of your game and embed it in your Genially so that they have kind of a little quiz or something that they could take after, or you could do that another day. You know, it could be a paper pencil thing that you want to do as well. just, let the kids know, say, hey, we're going to be learning about, like I have one for Earth Day. We're going to be learning about Earth Day. So, read the articles carefully, watch the videos and play your games, but make sure you're learning all about it. So it's kind of a fun thing to just kind of give them a heads up too, so they don't just skip the important information, just to get to the game part of it. So
yeah, I'm excited for her to show you her Earth Day one, because it's for the teachers to see, especially because Genially has so many ways that you can share information, like through a video, through reading, and then you play the clue to kind of demonstrate your knowledge or to have a little fun before moving on to the next thing. And I just think that's the coolest part. It's like a learning experience. It's not just a game, it's about learning. So
fantastic. So let's go for it. Hilary, when you're ready, they're going to be sharing some games that they have created with everybody, so you can get some ideas. So I'm excited for them to share their screen, and show us what they've created. So go ahead whenever you're ready.
okay, so let me make sure. Okay, well, let's start with Sabrina's, because I hit that one first.
No, we want to start with Earth Day.
Okay.
So can you guys see our screen? Can you see it okay?
Let me make sure.
I don't think.
No, we're not seeing it. So there's a, you have to.
There we go.
Wait a minute.
Oops, you just turned off our video.
Okay, so
there's at the bottom, there's a share screen button with an arrow like this.
There it is.
It was pulled down.
We had it below our.
It hides. So sometimes it hides. There you go. Good job.
Yeah. Okay, so this is an Earth Day escape. And so what the students do when they go in is they go to the start button, and the start button will give them the scenario. So on here, it's just a slideshow, and this is Professor Pollution, and he's telling everyone not to worry about pollution. It's no big deal. So it gives them a reason why they're going to do the escape room, and it gives them some directions to follow along. So then once they get here, they click the home button, and it'll take them in the same tab back to our home screen. So here is the number 1. We're going to the first clue. So on the first clue, you can see there's a read about it. So this opens up and it talks about Earth Day and who started it. It talks about Mother Earth Day. So there's information.
And really quick, just let me go back to read about it for a second. So this doesn't send kids to an external link to a weird website with a bunch of ads. So this is inside Genially. You can create a button that takes them to like a little window that has the information that you add.
Right. So, and then they have a video to watch. And on these, I've just made these like a microsite so that I have back buttons just because I'm dealing with younger kids, but then here they can watch a little video about Earth Day and it gives them more information about it. And then like they have a just for fun, which I use, we use a site called WordWall. And on WordWall, it's kind of a neat thing to do too, because it's totally embeddable. Like you can embed it right into your Genially. And on this one, they are going to just do a little word search. But that one's just for fun. Then they get to their clue. And then they're going to do the little maze and they're going to click and drag. And so then like they're making a color code. I'm not really doing it right, I don't think. But so then like when they get finished, they'll have all the different colors and then that will be entered onto their code. So let me take you home and I'll show you where that link is embedded. So if you go here to the lock and key, it takes you to a lock code form. And then they would enter their answer. And then if they get the correct answer, then they would go next. Now this one does open into a new tab, but that's like an example of how we kind of took the idea of using Genially into a whole new realm. Like this is not really using a template. This is just using all the tools that are available to us through Genially. So that is that, and I will let Sabrina show.
So I
love how you embedded all the different tools within your creation. You know, that's a great use of Genially, showing all those integrations.
Yeah,
Sabrina, go ahead.
It's pretty seamless. It's pretty awesome. So I was going to show you one that is a template that I modified. And so I teach art. So this is Principles of Art digital review game. And it's going to ask them if they want to take on the challenge of completing a mission and learn about the principles of art. At the end of each mission, they're going to click on a star to reveal a secret number. And when they finish, that's what they're going to have to be able to put in to finish the challenge. So this was basically, I did modify a little bit, but it is really mostly a Genially template, you guys. So you could come in and if you teach English, you could do affixes or whatever you wanted to teach them and create questions. And then the template has right answer, wrong answer. So this one is, I believe the right answer is unity. Okay. Creating harmonious balance. I'm testing myself. Movement. So then they're going to get that first number. The first number is 3. And so they'll write that down and then they go to the next mission. And the thing is, like, I have to go through the whole thing. Do you want me to go through the whole thing to get to the number to the end? Because she's right.
It's up to you. If you
go ahead.
Yeah.
Just so you can see how neat it is at the end.
I love all the art on this game, you know, so I'm enjoying it.
Maybe, did we write, what was the first number?
3, 5.
I got it. You got it? Okay.
I'll forget. Imagine we get it wrong at the end.
That would totally be me. Repetition. 3. 3, 5, 3. I have one more. So I teach middle school and high school. So mine are a little bit longer, maybe. Are you guys learning a little bit about art while I'm doing this?
Yeah.
Oops, I messed up. Click the best demonstration through side. Okay. Wait, what am I doing wrong? Oh, unity through side. Oh my gosh.
Do you have a wrong answer?
I don't know what I was doing there. I'm a little nervous. Pattern. Congratulations. Do you have the numbers memorized?
Yeah.
Okay. And so then it says enter code. So this is kind of interesting because in Genially you have like an invisible box. And so you cover all of the ones that aren't the correct number with the invisible box, and that leads them to the wrong, slide. And then only the right number will take them to the next. It'll be a duplicate side that takes them to the next correct number. So what is it? So that's a whole tutorial learning how to do that. But breakout is complete and you provide your teacher with code phrase visual communication. And that was the end of the game. So I'll let Hilary, do you want to see another one?
Looks beautiful. Yes, please. Share some more.
Okay. This one, oops, just went to the wrong page. That's not it. Okay.
That's the panel. That's what the Genially panel looks like.
just wanted you to see that. Okay, this is a new template that I found actually just a couple days ago. And so yesterday I created a couple of games on it already. So this one's called Find the Imposters. It's, be careful, turn down your volume. So an alien's entered our ship and is trying to replace the crew. We need to know what body is in and expel him before he takes control of everyone. cannot return to Earth until we are sure that he is not one of us. And this button right here, like you can add little boxes. So especially when I do things for first graders, I put these in so that all the questions and stuff are read. So
an alien has entered our ship
and so you can see where it can be read to them as well. I did go ahead and put that in there just so that the kids could listen to that part if they needed to. So this one says, with your nerves, you've forgotten the password to close the main hatch of the ship. Answer the security questions correctly to close it. So on this one, they just have to, whoops, I don't know if I know the answers. And so then the gate is closing. And then if you get the wrong answer, you get that little critter, which I think is kind of fun. And it continues if you get the right ones. Now, this next part, I know like the kids are going to absolutely love doing these. So these are the ones you have to find the guy that's not telling the truth. So they do the math problems and they find the one that is not telling the truth. And then if they get that, that's the one that was not right. So they get to click and drag this thing, circle, around to find the alien. And so once they find him, they click him and then they get to go to their next room. Just totally fun. I am going to be subbing in a classroom next week and I'm going to be using this. So then they get to do it again. And I have an advantage. I know where they are. But if you check out this game on mine, I'm going to move where the little aliens are so you won't know. Because that's the other thing you can do very easily is you can change things around so that they can be different or change the questions. So, and then it goes to another section, and this time you're looking for the ones that are telling the truth. So they have to, and I'm pretty mean, like I make it see 9:57. Lots of kids want to say it's 9 on the 9, but no, it's almost 10. So you have to click that. So that's basically that. Well, I'm not sure why he's not going. There he goes. And then they have to, I'll just get to.
Did you create those little images?
Yeah, and those were just images that I put in. And so then you're at the end. So it's 10 questions. It's nothing long, but the problems are ones that the kids will need to solve and figure out. They also have to read carefully because they're trying to decide if they need to find the truth or if they need to find the one that's not telling the truth. So fun, fun, fun. Great template. 2 thumbs up. Whoever created it.
Super cool. Sabrina, we have time for one more. So if you want to share yours.
Sure. Or I could go into the panel and I'll just show the one we're going to show. Okay, so this is an escape room as well, kind of like Hilary's. It's a little different because they have to get the answer to know where to go next. But they click the start icon. And it's similar. You go through the setup for the escape. I actually, you know what I want to do instead? I want to come into the panel really quick and show you guys the clues instead. Just go into my clues. So you can kind of get an idea of how this works inside Genially, how you're creating it more than just seeing it played. I think so. Yeah. I don't know. Usually it doesn't take quite this long. It must be because we're on a Zoom. So why is it taking so long to get there? I'm going to come back out. I wonder if it's something to do with Zoom meeting.
It might be.
Kind of wanted to show them inside the panel.
just to be able to set it up.
So you guys can see how to create one yourself. Darn, I don't know. Okay, anyway. So you come out and it tells you the first clue has arrived. It's finally here, excuse me. Where you go next is too easy, I fear. You are too smart not to notice what you are working on. Click on the object inside the escape that is a processor, a machine, an icon. And so you come back into the escape. Our computer is freaking out a little bit right now.
We're having trouble clicking on things and stuff.
This doesn't usually happen, so I think it has. We'll just go ahead and go.
It's a video probably. It's sometimes
Yeah.
it's writing down with the connection. So.
Wait, I think I got in. No, is that the panic room?
What we can do, we can maybe share the link to the escape game on the chat so that people can see at home, you know, so we can do that. And
Let me just try one more time really quick, because I think it's.
I don't know if all your clues are in there.
Oh, because it's yours.
Yeah, might be.
You can go ahead and show them one then. So let me get your, show them one of yours. Show them just the clue part, how to create it, like with the animation and stuff.
This one is one that I did. I think that because we're working on maybe my computer, things of Sabrina's maybe aren't loading or something. Although it looks like it might be doing the same thing to me. It must be the Zoom meeting. But anyway, like maybe that's a thing that we can do on another day or something, I guess. I don't know. But it's pretty neat. Like, oh, here we go. So on here, you can see this one is a mini escape room. And actually, this one is free in my store. I just wanted people to be able to try it out and see the different parts of it. So you can see that the icons that I have in here are able to be moved. Then you can put your links and you can tell it like which page it needs to go to next. You can also tell it to go to a link. Like if you wanted to go to an outside source, you can put your link here. If you just want a window where you can type and like make.
That's like that information window that we showed you earlier.
Right. And so then like each of these pages is something that would go to one of the other pages in the escape. So see, here's my video. So when the kids are over here and you say, watch the video, it takes you to that page. So the pages, it's kind of like a setup, like kind of like PowerPoint, but so much cooler. And then like here you can see that this is the game. And then they've also added this amazing ability to click and drag, which is just so cool because then the kids can, you know, move it around. There's also the ability to write on them. Like, so you can come in here to your preferences and make it so that you can write on it. So like if the kids wanted to, remind me to turn that off, but then like there's a little pencil. And if they wanted to, you know, follow, let's try red. So then like if they're going to do the
and you can
maze,
make it bigger too.
But I'm obviously not very good with the paint button. So anyway, that is just some of the stuff
Let me show them one thing really quick. Okay, I'm going to show you guys one thing really quick too. So like when these little images that you see, they're not in there right now, but so you can go in on Genially and they have partnered with like Pixabay and all these different places. And then they have some stuff in there as well, but you can just search for, I don't know, maybe you want to have a daffodil or something instead of a sunflower there, which would make no sense at all. But I'm going to go ahead and replace it so you can see how easy it is. So see, that is there now. So yeah, so that is the way we created all these just different images in here. And then they have backgrounds where you can do the base, which is the honeycomb. And then the actual canvas is this art. The background is separate, and then all the art is placed on top. So.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing all those games. I'm not surprised your stores on Teachers Pay Teachers are so popular, because you do a great job with the games and all the materials, really. So we really thank you for your time. I hope everybody enjoyed the session. And I think we're about to finish. So thank you, Hilary and Sabrina, for today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Conchi.
Thanks, Conchi.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.